Hello, my friends. Today's date is December the 10th, and this is a birthday reading for you for this year. If this was your birth date, or, if this is an anniversary or a special event date, you can weave it around and look at your questions through this framework. So, this December 10th, it's a four-card reading. This is a general energy card for the year, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to stay in balance, and an outcome or a synopsis card. So for December the 10th, what is the general energy that you get to work with or reflect upon this year? Well, it's the bridge. And the bridge, what is the bridge? The bridge is the go between for two sides. The bridge often is the one who wants to bring two factions together to hear both sides, to help them to hear both sides, to so compassion can be shown, so understanding can be shown. Once we hear someone's side, we are more emotionally available generally. If we want to be, find some way to move forward, the bridge is that way to move forward. And maybe you are the bridge, or maybe you're asked to be, one of the participants on one side of the bridge. So with an understanding that on some level you want to go forward, and you want to, make progress, but you need to be heard, and you can recognize that they need to be heard in order for some kind of compromise or some kind of understanding or some kind of new togetherness can be formed. And there's the other side of the bridge. When you burn your bridges behind you, you often can't go back and make changes, and you can't make, new things start, and good things start quite often when you burn bridges. So there's a lot of aspects to the bridge that you get to reflect upon this year. So what is your particular challenge? Well, your particular challenge is the Fool. And the Fool is, sacred breath, first intuition, jumping into something just because it feels right. And that's the key. Just because it feels right now. It's a time to jump into something. It's a time to, with mirth, with trust. You don't even think about trust. It's just there. It's just a doing. It's just a being in the moment. It's a presence in the time. It's a space of in. Awakening, a space of adventure, a space of, oh, this is another moment I get to choose. I'm going to choose this way because it feels right. And that's what the Fool does. And often the Fool looks foolish to others because the Fool acts by their own authenticity, acts by their own sacred connection to Creator, to God, to Goddess, to all that is, however you want to see it in your capacity. You have a sacred connection to the spirit of things, and you feel, you're in line with your purpose, and in line with what you're called to do, and in line with sacred grace, and it just feels right. And without all those words, it just feels right. And the Fool will look foolish in order to learn about themselves and go forward valiantly and lovingly with mirth. And the Fool is a lot about mirth. It's about humor, finding humor in things, not getting so bound up in particular ideas and sides and factions. So this is your challenge. You may be bound up in some kind of faction or side or belief system that doesn't allow you to get out of your own narrow confines of how you need to be in thought and in action. And somebody else might, on the other side of that bridge, be reflecting the complete opposite side of that, and be, kind of a sense of stuck in their own place, and their own thoughts and their own process. And can you hear that other person? Can they hear you? Quite often, no. So that's your challenge, is to allow yourself to at least try to hear the other side, and at least try to take in some emotional issue, some energy that might be there that's coloring the situation on both sides. You have your own pain underneath this. What does that mean? Why are you so hard, you valiantly fighting so hard to hold some kind of belief system? Does it ultimately help you grow? Does it help you move forward? Is there not a way that both sides, can have some fulfillment? That's your challenge, I think, to be the bridge. You have to be willing to span both sides. The bridge touches both sides of the earth and the shore, and it's going over water quite often, not necessarily, but it's going over water quite often, but it has to touch both sides of the place where it can land, both sides of the earth. So the bridge is the bridge between two belief systems. So your challenge is to allow yourself to look foolish to maybe yourself or maybe to others, to admit maybe that you could be wider and you don't have to be so narrow, to admit maybe that that you didn't have any space for someone else's belief system. Who knows what the particular thought is, and that's up to you. Whatever is your pain that is holding you from being spontaneous, being loving, being full of mirth. Again, the Fool is about laughter. It's about laughing at the things we hold on to so tight, and the fears we hold on to so profoundly that we can't think of anything else, and the rigidities of action that just keep us plowing forward regardless of what's in front of us, and without seeing ramifications and understanding responsibilities, but abilities to respond and change path and swerve and go around some corners rather than through things. So the Fool is here to say, oh, can't we just laugh a little bit more about this? Can't we have some fun? Can't we laugh about this? Can't we find some way to find our hearts in this? And laughter is really about the heart. It's about sharing something deep by looking at the wider patterns and the bigger view, and the timelessness of humans trying to figure this all out, and who have done this thousands and millions and billions of times, probably forever, and probably will continue to do this forever as we learn how to bridge different people's views and find a way to be the pontiff. The Pope is a pontiff, is a bridge. He's a intercessor, he's a sacred intercessor. There's that kind. There's a judge who is a bridge. There's a social worker who is a bridge, often between government and society. There's many ways to be a bridge. There's many bridges that you can span. So what is your particular bridge? Well, this is the action that you can take, and it's the bear. And what is the bear but the ability to stand strong and stand firm and give a big roar and hold one's ground if they need to? The bear is also high ability to hear, and because they're often a loner, there's an ability to, I think, be wise. The bear is about introspection. The bear is about meditation. The bear is about going into one's cave for the winter of hibernation, which can be translated to meditation, quiet time, shutting off one's mind, and really listening and going inside oneself, which means often going into where your own pain is and where your own fears are and where your own rigidities are, and really feeling into them and asking yourself, do I need to be, this tight in whatever it is I'm tight is, and can I relax? Can I retreat? Can I go in my bear hibernation and know that if I need to be, up and about for something, I'll be up and about for something, and I'll be standing up strong for what I believe in. At the same time, right now I need to understand what I believe in deeper. I need to go deeper into my process, and I need to feel into my own self and understand what stops me from being, quote, a fool. What stops me from being happy and mirthful? What stops me from being a bridge that connects ideas together, where some kind of new child can be formed and presented to humanity, or on this bigger scales, so that we can all grow wise from this and grow more compassionate and help humanity to blossom. Um, so this is the outcome card. I love this card. The sacred songs, the sacred harmonies of the universe. We're just free floating. Everything interweaves, all being interweaves, and that butterfly on the other side of the world that creates tsunami on this side. It's a lot about that. It's about the words and the sounds and the harmonics we put out into the universe is what is drawn back to us. What we call ourselves to see is what we see. So can we, if we want to have more harmony, more joy, more life, more music, more laughter in our lives, then we need to put it out there as well as the sound of the universe that we are making. And the more we make those sounds of compassion and love and joy and bliss and togetherness and honor and dignity, the more do we call that world to ourselves. And that is, I think, a lot of what your bridging is about this year. Oh, Takwiyasa.